Hey everybody, it's me, Dania, and today I feel like this is partially kind of reflective of 2021, but I wanted to talk about um, beliefs, blessings, and boundaries. It was just something that came up in my head as I was driving, so I said, well, maybe I just need to talk. Um, so happy 2022, happy new year, happy joyous, abundant, and prosperous new year, or whenever you are coming to this video. Um, so 2021, honestly, I think that's what it was about, was me learning about beliefs, my own personal philosophies, um, a year of blessings, even though it was a challenge. There were blessings last year, and um, boundaries, understanding where and how I need to place boundaries. So, we're going to talk about beliefs first. Not necessarily what my beliefs are, but what my belief about beliefs are. And maybe I will touch on some of mine, but I keep coming back to this feeling around the divide between, I will say, the religious community and spiritual, and why I feel like healing that divide could do a cosmic good. Religion is the structure. It is the rules, the regulations, the dogma. But the thing about religion is it's supposed to also be spiritual. Spirituality is about the journey. It is about the understanding, the connection, the feelings, the emotion. All of those things should actually be a part of religion. And there are some things in spirituality that people, on a personal level, have created their own structures and rituals and things of that nature. Each has ritual, each has its own flavor, but each has a similar goal, which is connection to the divine. Whether it is a belief that the divine is outside of yourself or within, you're still trying to connect to something bigger than who and what you are. Something that is without bounds, something that is you don't really understand. Essentially, everyone's trying to get to source. Even people who don't necessarily believe in quote unquote God believe something started everything. So there's still a belief in something that ignited all of this. And most people, that's their part of their journey, is one, understanding their relationship with the world, and also the relationship with themselves, the people around them, and what it all means to them. What people get so hung up on is the nomenclature and the process and the steps. And I guess this is where I will say, like, I've always believed in God. Like, there wasn't a time where I said that God doesn't exist. I've always believed in God. My awareness and reflection of who God and is expanded. Initially, it was, if I do this thing wrong, I'm going to be punished. Um, if I don't do this in a specific way, I'm going to be punished. Um, Waiting for God to come and destroy everything. There wasn't this love, it was fear. And that's the honest truth, that it was fear. Anything that happened wrong, I wondered what I did wrong to incite God's wrath. Um, and now it's different. When when I told my first spiritual mentor and guide, she asked me, she was like, what do you want ultimately? What is your end game? What do you want? What is the real thing that you want? And I sat there on the call for a minute and I said, I just want to feel like God loves me, that I'm not always doing it wrong, that I'm not being punished, that God isn't separate from me. And that's where I'm at now. The aspects of my practice are just my way to talk to God and for me to understand what God's trying to tell me. And I don't feel separate. I don't feel like God is only somewhere in a cloud watching me saying, you ate that thing today. I saw you. You ate that thing. You ate that cookie today. Shame, shame, shame. I don't feel that way. Um, this is in one of my podcast episodes, but like tattoos. You get a tattoo, you're ostracized. You're put out. You are no longer one of the chosen. And that loomed over me because even though growing up in the South, in the Christian belt, I won't say Bible belt because the Bible is not wholly only subscribed to Christianity. So I will say the Christian belt, the idea of getting a tattoo, the idea of being one of the chosen people, because I'm not a Christian, I'm Israelite, a Hebrew. So being one of the chosen people honestly was a big deal to me. It was important to me, and to feel like I could do something that would take that away from me, that would make me no longer good in God's eyes, that really, 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 really bothered me. Um, and um, so even though I had this like a strong love of tattoos, I love tattoos. I wouldn't get a real one. I'd get a fake one. And I remember getting a fake one and getting in trouble for it. Like, there was this really big discussion, like, why you have that, blah, 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 blah. And it was a big one. Like, Spencer's used to have really, really dope fake tattoos. Like, this thing was huge. It went from like here to here, and it looked really real. I was on fire, and it lasted for weeks. But it was still a fake tattoo. It wasn't permanent. And there was just something about the permanence of the thing. Even getting my ears pierced was like um, a big deal for me. So I remember the first act of rebellion was getting my tongue pierced. But the overall fear of retribution still made me. I hid it for years. I hid my tongue piercing for years. And only until one day I had like a really open mouth laugh did anybody notice, in my family anyway, notice I had it. But the tattoo, I have one now. Hold on, I don't know if I can. Yeah, there you go. And that was one of those things that I did last year, that was for me to heal my inner child. My inner child has always wanted that tattoo. Like, I want it. I need to have it. I want a tattoo. And I'm like, we can't get a tattoo. Like, God's going to be mad at us. And so finally, I just prayed on it. And I'm like, look, am I going to be punished if I get a tattoo? No, I'm not. And I was like, are we sure? No, I'm not going to be punished. If anything was going to lift me up in a beautiful way. And my tattoo is really purposeful. It's a lotus flower, and it has the Om symbol above it, because I wanted it to be about transformation and oneness. And I absolutely adore it. And it was so divine. The day I got the tattoo, it was, around my birthday. My ex was here watching the boys. I left. I was like, all right, I'm out. I got there. I said, I'm going to get my tongue re-pierced and get a tattoo. Okay, bet. So I get there and I'm like, okay, how much is the tongue piercing? I'm setting myself like an $80 budget. I don't know what stuff costs. I had an $80 budget. So I asked about a tattoo, and they're like, "Oh, it's only the tongue piercing. Oh, it's only gonna be 25. That's it? Yeah, it's only gonna be 25. Bet." So I'm like, "Okay, cool, awesome. Like if it's a little over 80, I can still do this. This is awesome." I found the place. I didn't know why. Okay, so it um the um shop, I just went off my intuition, like which one should I go to, and it was this one. I pull up and they have this giant Buddha piece of art on the wall, and I'm just like, all right then. When I get in, they have the boards for crystal grids laying around, and I'm just like, all right then. So when I got ready to look for in the art book for who this particular artist had a tattoo almost identical to this one. I had Googled what I wanted. I purposely looked for this art on Google, and I found something that I was in love with. And I had only really shared it with one person. And in the book was this tattoo. And I'm just like, okay. Not only did they have that, I'm sitting in this table and I was like, see the crystal grids, they have all these tattoos of yonis. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm excited. He starts to go sketch what the tattoo would look like. My best friend called me and I told them, like, yo, I'm gonna get this tattoo. And they're like, you're not getting it without me. I'm on the way. Okay, cool. So they come to support me in this journey and to get the tattoo. So they come and I'm like, so we're talking. So the guy gets done a little after my friend gets there. And we're talking and they tell me the price and I'm like, oh my God, it's over my budget. My friend is like, you good? What? You good? I got it. Are you sure? Yes. Everything was lining up for me to get this tattoo. Everything. What was really funny is though that my friend was like really expecting me to cry and I didn't. I was so excited. And it wasn't that it didn't hurt. If I had cried in that moment, I think it would have been cried because my inner child finally got her tattoo. I finally got the tattoo I have always wanted. The question is, am I going to get some more? Maybe. I heard this is painful, but I do feel like I want one here. I might want one here or on my legs. The leg, look, it must be the leg because the way yeah. I do low key want one on my hand, but I feel like that's going, I feel like that's a level of pain. It's like, nope. But I do feel like I want one on my hand. So we'll see. We'll see. I've been feeling like I want like a small one, like right here and right here, just something really small. But yeah, I do feel like I'm going to get another one. One hasn't screamed out to me loud enough. Like this screamed to me. So nothing has screamed out to me loud enough to where I wanted something. Like I have been feeling like I wanted to do something that a tribute to my son, my firstborn. So we'll see. But yeah, but my belief that God was going to punish me prevented me from having this really amazing experience. And when I decided to just step away from that limiting belief, it was like everything lined up perfectly to allow for it to happen. And I was like, okay. And I just remember laying there that night, just like looking at it. And even now, I like just sit and look at it sometimes. Like, yo, this is the thing that I did. And I'm so proud of myself. When I think about beliefs, there's one thing that in Ifa tradition, you can't completely know God. You can have an idea. And I love that about the movie Dogma. It's like you can have an idea, absolutely. You can have a really good idea, but at the end of the day, even though we are aspects of Source, we're not home with Source. We can't know. And what's beautiful, even still, is when I listen to some books and things where they're talking about going back to source. Like they're recounting what it's like to be with source. Even they can't describe what source is. So it's like there's no bounds, there's no limits, there's no lines. There it just is. And I feel like um if we just took that, you would understand that the Kemetic Neters, the Egyptian gods, you would realize they're not polytheistic. They're mono, and they acknowledge that God is unlimited, and they've just given the various aspects of God, how God presents herself into the world, a name. That's it. They've just given the many faces of God a name to better describe the experience of God in that moment. So, like mother, um, in various cultures, that's an aspect of God. And that nurturing mother energy may have various names. It may be Isis, it may be Yemoja, it may be Oshun, it may be um, the dark feminine aspect where God wants you to tear down your ego and remember that you're of source and remember you have no limiting beliefs and break away from your field, your fears, and that mother that comes in to pull you into the depths and the bowels of your being, that's Kali. So really understanding that these names aren't not God. They are God. They are literally God. They are just a specific aspect of God or a specific force of nature. I feel like if more people had deeper conversations with folks about what they believe and why they believe it, it wouldn't be such it wouldn't be so hard to understand. It wouldn't. I can recall at an event I did recently. I didn't know they were a church. And so I got all my stuff set up and they come and speak to me. And what was really cool is I watched him because I'm super intuitive and I'm an empath and I can read energy. And I was watching his higher self agree with me through his vessel, even though his ego was like, I am uncomfortable with the fact that I am resonating with her. There was this level, and it was cool because he was like, he wanted me to come to church, but in the same breath, he said, there is a light about you. There is such a, he literally told me I got good energy. He was like, there's a light about you. There's such a forgiving nature about you. He could see it. And I have not ever I just haven't. I've just been me and going through my life and my journey and understanding that I can find God in almost anything because God created everything. We're just the medium, the vessel that God worked through to make the thing happen. But, all nothing is existing beyond God's will. God wanted us to have free will because we're here to experience. So even when things are rough, we wonder why people are creating things and doing these things with it. Understand that we can't understand the will of the divine. We can't understand. What we can't understand is that there is something bigger than us, and there's a reason we have to experience certain things. And I feel like the more we understand that, the closer we'll get to coming together. We don't have to do the same thing. That's the beautiful thing. We don't have to do the same thing. We don't even necessarily have to agree, but to be respectful of people's practices and understand the way that you find God and the way they find God aren't the same, but you're both finding God. And that's all that truly matters. So that's my spiel on beliefs. Then looking at blessings. Uh, this started well before October. 2020, my marriage ended. It ended on paper in 2021. My marriage ended in 2020. I was physically gone in October of 2020. And then it was on paper in 2021. And it's like, there's people even still now that this will probably be the first time they even realize my name's changed. My last name is back to my maiden name. And it has been for a while. Um, but there was so many blessings. My relationship with him was a blessing. I learned so much about myself. I learned where I needed to grow. He was a catalyst for big transformation, an absolute catalyst for big transformation. I didn't think I could have children. I've birthed three. I'm praying for the fourth I see in my birth chart. But I didn't think I could. I didn't think I could. It was a joke. Like, if you get me pregnant, you're a mutant. And the timing of it was so divine because I had just left, you know, a job that would have really kept me busy. I had just gotten a promotion. It was supposed to happen when and how it happened, and I had to go through that journey. If you ask me, yes, there was a past life connection that I also needed to work through, but there was such a huge, like, I had to go into the bowels of my shadow. Like, if I would say anything, I was in the dark night for sure. I was in the bowels of my ego, not knowing how to climb out and find my higher self. And even amongst all of that, people were telling me that I was a light for them. Even with everything I had going on, people were like, I come to see you at your events because it's you. When you walk into the room, it's all about you. And at the time, I could not receive that. He is the reason why I said, y'all, stop calling me D. I don't go by D anymore. My name's Dania. And if we're not really close friends, you can call me Ia. But being able to have someone that was really particular, that people called me by my name, he challenged me because I wouldn't stand up for myself, and I wouldn't say what I needed, and I wouldn't say what I wanted because I didn't want to rock the boat. And I was afraid. I was afraid of trying to. When I finally had kids and I realized, I was like, I don't want to do this by myself. And then that became a fear. It crippled me. It crippled me into accepting things because I was the alternative that I'm now living. I didn't want it. But had things not happened the way they did, I may not have had a spiritual awakening. Had my life not gone the way it did, I probably would not be so in my fullness right now. I would have probably been still like trying to mimic other people because I would feel like that's who I was supposed to be. I would be allowing people to be dishonest with me and not be good to me, or low key, the really undercover about it too. And so there were many blessings that came from that. And it was hard. I had to really learn how to pray and manifest. I really did, because it was like I had to go. I needed a place to stay. I needed a car. And I just remember sitting and just, like, Abraham Hicks calls it rampaging. And that's what I was doing. Like, sitting in my altar room at the time and just like, this is what I need, this is why I need it, and this is how I'll feel when I get it. And just going. And I remember this house specific, I know I manifested this house. I saw one with a very, very almost identical layout. This house is just bigger. It is more rent, yes. And the blessing is I can pay my rent. It's gone up $200. I can pay my rent. I can buy food. I can put gas in the car. I can buy candles. I'm paying $200 every 2 weeks for my son's therapy. And this is even after getting Katie Beckett. There was still some back stuff that still had to be paid off. There, but I'm making it, and I didn't think I could. I stayed where I was because I didn't think I could do this. I didn't think I could do this, and it was like I had to have that tower moment to become the star. I had to build on top of the. I had to build on top of the rubble and debris in order to build myself. And I'm still in this active building phase. I'm still in my star moment. I'm still in my star moment. And being able to do a YouTube video. What? Do a YouTube video? You're going to do that? Never would have thought. Never. Never. Locking your hair? Oh, no. 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 And in this moment, my hair is longer than it's been since I was a kid. My hair used to be very long in elementary school, and then when I finally, let's just say, a perm was had and it should not have been. But even that, like, hold on. Oh, snap. Wait a minute. You see it? You see it? Touch it. This thing is at my clavicle. I'm holding my head straight. It is at my clavicle. Wow. Okay, don't talk. Oh, wait, I need a moment of silence for the length check. I need a moment of silence for the length check. But that's a blessing to be able to look at myself in awe and smile and see myself. I have no makeup on. I don't wear makeup anyway, but I have no makeup on. Here go all the gray, like, and I can see myself beautiful. And you know what? The rest of these blessings are going to come with ease. And when I say that, that doesn't mean action is not being taken. It means that the actions that I take don't have to feel hard. I don't have to feel like I need to lose sleep. I don't need to feel like the only way it's going to come is through trauma. That phrase, no pain, no gain, I do not resonate with that. I resonate with ease. I resonate with me being able to receive and enjoy my blessings in alignment with ease. And I do that through discernment, understanding when it's my ego, when it's my higher self trying to tell me to do something. And I am excited for the blessings that not only myself, but everyone's going to experience. Like, I did a reading for 2022, and until the end of the month, it's on my website for free. You can just go to it, book it, and I'll send you the link to the recording. It's about 2.5 hours. So it's like almost a $300 reading for free to show the collective energy and the collective blessings and lessons and journeys that we're going to take in 2022. And it is so beautiful. It's not that there is not going to be anything that's going to challenge us, but the greatness and the genius on the other side is going to be truly amazing. And I'm excited. So that's my blessings piece. Boundaries. I love what Iyanla Vanzant said. Sorry, I just cut the crap out of myself and it hurts. Iyanla Vanzant said, it's not a boundary until you communicate it. And I was like, yo, because in our head, we may say, no, you can't do that to me. But do you tell the person? Do you tell your people? Do you tell your friends, your colleagues, your clients that this is a boundary? Because if you don't tell them, it's not really a boundary. It's just something in your head. And so I've been thinking about things like that. Like, you know, if I give you something, let's say I give you free tickets to an event and it's a Zoom one. No, you can't invite nobody else. This is my event and I blessed you, but I'm working to make money. This is supposed to turn into my life. This is supposed to turn into how I get paid, how I make money. this is supposed to take over income, and I can't do that um, if I allow people to take advantage of my kindness. Um, and that's not a slight or anything. It's just I've been thinking about things that I have let slide and let go unaddressed, and that is what it is. I've seen this one a few times. I do offer a free 15-minute consultation. Anything longer than 15 minutes, I need to be paid. 15 minutes is nothing, and it's not a reading. You cannot get a reading from me in that 15-minute consultation. Even if I feel like I am channeling in that moment, you can't get a full-blown reading from me in that 15 minutes. The 15-minute consultation is for you and I to discuss what you think you need. Do you think you need a reading? Let's talk about it. You might not need a reading. You might need coaching. Um, and I do offer readings as part of my coaching program, but that might be what you need. You might need coaching. You might need a resume. I do that too. It's just not on my website, but I do that. But that you might need something like that. You if I so you know setting boundaries. If I give you a reading, a coaching, a consultation, or anything, and I give you feedback and you don't implement it, do not come back to me. It is a waste of time and energy. Energy is expended when we give you feedback. This is just for me. I'm speaking for anyone, coaches, mentors, guides, teachers, the like. If we give you feedback, if especially channeled, but if we give you feedback, it is draining to do that for people who don't implement the feedback. So if I give you feedback and I circle back and you ain't implement it, I have no advice for you. Not even just in passing. I have nothing for you. And I say that because I like to implement feedback. That's, someone told me, you should go live and do readings. So I did. Even if I only got one or two people to pop onto the live, it didn't matter. I did it and it was cool. I implemented the feedback. My homeboy told me to stop treating myself like an option when I should be the choice. Stop saying people, well, if you have time, I want to see you. What are you doing? Let's go. And I did that. And it paid off in abundance. And it felt good. And then when I told him I implemented it, he felt good. There is an exchange of energy that takes place when you offer feedback. So do not come. If you are going to work with me in any capacity, you come to me knowing that I'm going to give you homework. I'm going to give you things to do and steps to take. And the expectation is you will. If I say leave an offering for your ancestors, you don't have to build a shrine at one time. Just put something out in nature, a piece of fruit, something. Because especially if I did a reading for you, that is an energy exchange and it helps support my energy. I I'm trying to think of how to word this one. It's coming, but I'm channeling just a little bit. I deserve to be paid. Even you may be like, well, you've only been doing this. I am powerful AF. And I haven't even fully expressed the full. I know I'm not at full power, full expression. I'm at full power. I am not at the full expression of that power, Ashe. But I am. Quite. And I deserve to be paid. I deserve to be paid for my coaching. I give really good feedback and I'm an exceptional mentor. And you can ask people at my job. They will confirm that. Almost everyone I have ever mentored at my day job has leveled up, promoted, secured the bag, whatever you want to call it, in some capacity. All of them. I heard I am undefeated in that regard. You will get the glow up that you require. You get the glow up. You'll get it. But you have to be open to feedback and be willing to implement it and be willing and understand there's value in your growth. There is absolute value in your growth. There are coaches I would love to work with. And I am actively manifesting the funds to be able to reach out to them, because it's not that I don't feel like they charge too much. I need to be able to afford it. There's a TikTok. I don't charge too much. You can't afford me. Oh, oh man. I don't charge too much. I know. And I divine my prices. I sit with it because I want the prices to be fair and affordable. That's why I have subscription plans on my website. I have subscription plans. If you like moon readings, but you feel like, you can't afford to do them twice a month, I literally have a moon reading package where it will cover both of your moon readings. And it ends up saving you like $60 or something like that. The Goddess Gathering, the Goddess Gathering doors close for this cohort on the 14th. Why? Because I'm only charging $22 a month for it, and I'm charging entirely too little. But it's my first time doing it in this way. So I said, it's an introductory price. I'm not. So you got to the 14th. If you feel like you want to get in on the Goddess Gathering at $22 and get the first month free, by all means, come on. Come on. You got time. There's only 2 videos that you've missed. You can watch both videos and be completely caught up by February. But after that, the door is closed until the next cohort. It just is what it is. But I don't, unless I'm feeling called to do free readings, I don't do free readings. If I offer you a free reading, it is at the kindness of my heart, and you got like 30 days to take advantage. So just thinking about boundaries and the fact where I need to set them and how I need to set them. Please don't always send me bad news. I hate that. I truly do. Please don't. What? Why can't I make his name come to me? But don't kill my vibe. I don't want that. If there's something going on, I need to know about it. Cool, but don't inundate me with the madness. Like when things were really, really like all on the news with COVID, I really had to stop. Don't bring that to me. Stop. People are dying. I get it. I can feel it. I don't need to be inundated with it. So I would encourage you, for your own boundaries, communicate them. And there should be, what happens when it's violated? What is the okay, if you violate what is going to be the recourse if it is violated? What are you going to do? Because there needs to be a recourse. It's kind of like when you're dealing with if you do this thing, I'm going to do that. There needs to be a recourse. And when you learn a boundary, respect it. When you learn about somebody's boundary, respect it. And be open to the feedback when they tell you that you overstepped. It's not that the first time is going to be okay, but don't be a habitual mind stepper. Don't do that. That's not cool, man. But I think that's all I wanted to share today. Thank you again. I will make sure I have links and all that good stuff in the description box. But I just want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for everything, supporting my YouTube channel, my podcast, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're supporting me at. I thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for saying, hey, can you talk about ... I love that, because especially with something I don't talk about often, it gives me a chance to go nerd out and learn something. So thank you. And I hope that you all have a beautiful, blessed, and joyous new year. Take care.